we've seen here compared to what we've seen all year, compared to what we saw 2 weeks ago. After an entire summer of cities burning, hundreds of people being murdered, literally, shot in the streets, private businesses being burned to the ground, looted, nothing. No troops deployed, no National Guard deployed. Everyone was just left on their own, sacrificed. 2 weeks ago at the Trump rally, if they were truly concerned about the Capitol building, where was all this then? Why didn't they do anything to stop it? In fact, we have plenty of video that shows them opening the gates for the crowd, opening the doors for the crowd, letting people into the Capitol. If they were truly intimidated by this massive, dangerous crowd, where was it then? Where was it 2 weeks ago? And why was it deployed immediately following January 6th, before that day was over? While they were still reporting that the Capitol was under siege, we witnessed this fence being put up. Perfect calm around the Capitol while they put this fence up. Where did this fencing all come from? How did it show up that very day? Why wasn't it up earlier? That very same night, we saw the Jersey blockades, the concrete Jersey blockades being shipped in. Now we see those all over the city. 35 different agencies here. At least 40,000 members of law enforcement, National Guard, the Border Patrol, Customs, local police, state police, surrounding police, all here. What for? Why wasn't it here 2 weeks ago if they really cared about protecting the Capitol? Why is it here now? Where was it all over the summer?
Students at Harvard now want to set up kind of re-education camps and moral rehabilitation centers and institutions for vetting people who had the chutzpah to work in the Trump administration.
And the question is, how are we going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump?
Experts say they see cult-like behavior.
We have, there are millions of Americans, almost all white, almost all Republicans, who somehow need to be deprogrammed. It's as if they are members of a cult, the Trumpist cult, and who have to be deprogrammed.
Because they've been brainwashed, Joy. I really believe that they have been brainwashed by this misinformation campaign.
So how do you de-radicalize these people? Joining us now is Steven Hassan. He's a mental health professional who has been helping deprogram people out of cults for decades. He's also the author of The Cult of Trump. There are millions of people who believe that the election was rigged. How do you begin to deprogram them?
Once we educate them, we coach them on how to interact and empower the person to start thinking for themselves.
I think a lot of people are going to have to be deprogrammed.
We had a program addressing white supremacists, that we had programs, federal programs, that went towards funding organizations like these that de-radicalized people. And President Trump pulled the plug on federal funding for some of these programs. And so one thing that we know is that we have to get that funding right back up, and we probably need to double, triple, quadruple, or increase funding for these de-radicalization programs.
We can look to history, though. What ultimately breaks that power structure in the South is enforcement, right? There has to be consequences.
David Atkins is a DNC member, as you said. He's also the leader of the California Democrats. And he is suggesting that over half our country needs to be reprogrammed. Not just 75 million people that voted for Trump, but the conservatives in this country.
A Bernie Sanders staffer was caught on undercover camera saying that Trump voters should be sent to re-education camps.
What are we going to do with those people that resist the change? Because that's a big deal.
Well, I'll tell you what. In Cuba, what do they do to reactionaries?
They shot them on the beach.
Anyone buy rooms to go through all the Republican voters and Homeland Security will take their children away. How about that? And we'll put them into re-education camps.
Amen. Part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities. Once it's everybody's responsibility and not just the households, then we start making better investments.
I have decided we really need camps for adults. And we need the kind of camps that you all run. I mean, really.
The bottom line is all of America needs programming because we've all been negatively influenced by Donald Trump.
Ich persönlich, empfinde es als lästig, als nervig, als einschränkend. Allerdings, ich halte es für richtig, das zu machen, weil ich glaube, dass es ein sinnvolles Mittel sein kann, um hier die Fallzahlen runterzubekommen.
Hätte viel früher schon sein müssen. Wären wir vielleicht schon viel weiter. Denn die selbstgestrickten Masken von den Großmüttern, die haben nichts genutzt. So sind wir alle geschützt und können was unternehmen. Finde ich sehr gut.
Also ich habe vor der Impfung keine Angst und hatte auch bisher keinerlei Angst wegen einer Infektion. Ich freue mich aber, dass ich geimpft werde und dann ein etwas inneres, ruhigendes Gefühl habe.
Hallo.
Für die Kinder ist die Situation in der Pandemie besonders schwierig, weil sie in der Lebensphase gerade vor allem andere Kinder brauchen. Und Kinder haben auch ein Recht darauf, mit anderen Kindern zusammen zu sein. Kinder haben ein Recht auf Bildung. Deswegen ist unser Ansatz zu sagen, wir müssen alles dafür tun, dass die Kinder möglichst bald alle wieder in der Kita sind. Kinder brauchen einfach Körperkontakt, den brauchen sie untereinander, den brauchen sie aber auch bei den Erzieherinnen. Und deswegen ist unsere Forderung auch, die Erzieherinnen bei der Impfstrategie nach vorn zu ziehen.